There he is.
Hey, what's up?
Whoa.
How we
What's
doing?
going on, man?
Hi, guys.
What's good? How are you?
No, I'm fine. You guys are the first ones to see my new set I put together.
Very nice.
We have always, I mean, throughout this whole thing, looking at everybody's backgrounds with their Zoom cameras has always kind of been a unique thing, and I got to give it to you. I think you win. Gold medal for you, Colin.
Well, because I have books, so people go, oh, you know.
Smart.
You have to have books. I have a picture. It's a picture of myself, but so that's kind of in bad taste. But you know, I look at it. It's good enough for the Russian oligarchs. It's good enough for me.
We appreciate the time, man. Thanks. This is kind of a bucket list thing for us. We've been having a lot of comedians on the show over the last, I don't know, 3-4 years, and obviously adding you to the pantheon for sure, because you are kind of regarded as, you know, one of those comic. I always feel like I always hear it's you and Dave Attell whenever people mention, you know, if you're a comedian, your favorite comics, and I feel like you two are almost exclusively always mentioned. So, you know, I guess it's been a pretty good run for you. That's got to be one of the highest compliments you can be paid, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the highest compliment you can be paid, and the lowest financial compensation you can be paid. Unless the wall full of comedians, no one's going to come see you. You know, comics are not usually the audience favorite.
Well, you got the HBO Max money coming now.
Hey, that's that. You can't knock that.
Yeah. Whoa.
What do you think it is that makes you get that reputation? Like, is it something about your comedy? Is it something about how you are when you're off stage? Why do the OGs really gravitate towards you?
I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, from day one, even when I was new, comedians liked me, and I don't know why. I was trying to please the crowd, but it didn't work out that way. I always pleased the comedians when I started.
I mean, I don't think you can say you didn't please the crowd, but that is interesting. Maybe that's...
Yeah, I'm saying from the beginning,
Yeah.
when crowds hated me for a couple of years when I started. And the comedians didn't like me, so I don't know what it is.
Maybe that's what it was, though. Maybe they saw that you were just like, this guy doesn't really give a shit about us. He is focused on the crowd, and that's what it's all about. Maybe that's why.
No, I mean, I was not focused on it. Like, the crowd didn't like me. I think comedians like the crowd.
but like, you weren't trying to please comedians, were you? You were trying to please the crowd.
I was trying to please the crowd,
Yeah.
but I was giving off a message to the crowd that said, I don't give a shit about you.
And that's why, all right, I get it. And that's why the comics are like, yeah, this guy's cool.
I wasn't trying to do that, but it must have something. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
Interesting.
It was comedians kept me in the business, that's for sure.
Is there a big difference? Are you still in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you've been New York through and through. Did you ever do like a stint out in LA?
Yeah, I did 2 years in LA.
But that, I mean, overall, you know, in your whole career, that's a drop in the bucket, really.
Yeah.
I feel like most guys do make the move out there, and you just you're never a West Coast guy. You want to stay in New York the whole time?
I lived there for a couple of years. I liked it. I mean, but it's not much. For some reason, when I was out there, I stopped doing stand-up. You know, I just was like, nah, I don't feel like doing it out here. I don't know why, but so I came back and started doing it again. You know?
Was that when I saw you tweeted, I don't know when it was, a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, whenever, about your failed cocktail audition? Was that down in LA?
No, that was before. That was before I left.
How'd that go?
Well, Tom Cruise, I went in, as he knows from my tweet, and I wasn't really a trained actor, to put it mildly. I was a comedian, so they brought me into a room. It's like 1986, whenever the movie came out. So they brought me in a room and like, oh, and it's Tom Cruise. He's already a superstar, you know. So I was a little bit starstruck, but I was like, I know how to act. I don't know why I thought this would work. And so I started miming, because I used to be a bartender. I started miming, making drinks. And you could feel the disgust in the room. Tom Cruise, you could tell Tom Cruise had like a pity. He's like, oh, look at this guy. I'm like, yeah. And I knew the worst is, it's bad enough when you think it's going bad, but I thought it was going good. I was like this. Like nobody would have ever thought of it. And I'm like, I was a bartender, so it's not going to look stupid.
I got this.
I sucked all the energy out of the room. The one thing I left with was I took every bit of air in there.
I didn't get the job. I just took your souls with me.
One of the few times I auditioned for something where I walked out and said, I definitely didn't get that. I'd be that bad, but I'd be like, they love me. And this one I was like, whoa.
We did one trip out to LA a couple years ago where we like, it's not even like we had anything to pitch really. I don't even know what we were doing out there.
I have no idea what we were doing.
I couldn't even tell you what we talked about, but we took a few meetings at like, I guess networks and shit. And every meeting we walked out of, we were like, yo, these fucking guys liked us. We're making it. We're on our way.
We
to
weren't
LA.
even pitching anything. We were just talking to people.
But that's the old cliche they say about in New York, if they hate you, they'll tell you in LA, if they're not going to give you the job, they take you out to lunch.
At least shoot me straight. Just tell me, man.
100 times out there too, where you're sitting at the meetings and just talking, and you're like, these guys love me. But there's some other part of your gut that tells you something's not going. Like there's a little party that's like, why don't I feel good? These guys love me. And you get in your car and you're validated and you just, something's going on. But no,
That was it.
you guys, I can see it happening 100 times. They're going, we know these guys have something, and they're trying to figure out, they don't know what it is. And they're like, yeah. So what do you guys do? And they want your popularity to translate, but they don't have an idea how to do it.
Nope, that's exactly what it is.
I'll tell you what, we fell into like the Hollywood lifestyle very quick though. Like the first meeting, we were like scared to say anything. By the end of the day, I was like, "Where's my fucking water? How did you not give me a water when I got in here?"
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. It's all about the water. Like,
yes, always.
I'm out there within a week. I had a rental car. I was just staying there in Oakwood. Within a week, I said, I went back and rented a Mercedes. I found my Mercedes in these horrible meetings that are going terrible.
I feel like by the end we were like, listen, I know things are going good with like Game of Thrones, but I think you should be doing this, that, and the other thing.
Oh, I was giving them ideas. We were at Universal. I was telling them what they should do with the Fast and Furious franchise. I was like, here's an idea for you guys.
I'm glad you guys said that because I was on MTV, so I was a little known. So they're trying to do a deal with me in 1989, 90 or whatever. And the same thing happened where they bring me in. So they go, you're going to meet the producers. But I didn't know the producers wrote the scripts in TV. The writer is the producer.
Mm-hmm.
So they go, what do you think of our script?
Oh, no.
Not funny, but me and my friends in comedy, we could fix it for you. It's pretty hacky. And they're looking at me with daggers in their eyes. I'm going, then I go to my agent, what do they think of me? Like that Saturday Night Live sketch. They hated you. What? They hate you. What did you say to them? And we couldn't figure it out like until 6 times in. And we go, oh yeah. They're the writers.
Talking to the writers. So how did it go when you got Tough Crowd? What was like the tipping point there? And
Tough Crowd started with Loin. I came off SNL. So it was like an NBC show for 3 episodes. And then it was doing really well, but they didn't want to handle it, which in retrospect, I understand why.
Yeah, it was a bit much.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a bit much, but sometimes I got out of control. But I mean, so then Comedy Central said, we want to do a show like that. I go, great. Once a week, half hour. I wrote part of it, so it was under control. They go, no, we want it every day, 5 days a week. So no, I was like, all right, well, I can't do that. Gave me a couple of writers, but we still couldn't control shows. I brought on the Uncontrollables.
I like that, the Uncontrollables.
Yeah, like the movie. What was that movie with Yeah,
the Untouchable or the Expendables. Yeah, you brought the Uncontrollables in. Yeah,
these are the comedy Expendables, and then just started having these shows, and it was, I know it in my mind. It succeeded in the sense that I wanted it to be people. Because we're supposed to be so funny off the cuff, I wanted to be like funny off the cuff. Everybody just doing what they want, being brutally honest and trying to, So it succeeded many times. And but in the grand scheme of things, obviously, we're not going to keep that for that long,
Yeah, but I feel like you can go into a show with two different goals, I guess, or mentalities of like, I want to make it on the air for 25 seasons, or I want to be like fucking funny with my guys who are going to let it rip. And I don't think you can have both. I think that's impossible.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'm happy given the choice. I'm glad we went that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
was that something you would tell, the uncontrollables, like, just fucking, I don't care what happens, just let it rip?
I mean, I didn't tell them that, but there was the message. Basically. I was like, yeah, well, I was just trying to make it spontaneous every day and try to keep it as funny and real. So, I mean, half the time, on the show, they turn on me in the middle of my show. Just one of those things.
I was reading where you would tell everyone no applause allowed. What was that? Was just because you wanted to just be about laughter and comedy?
Because I hate. This is before clapter existed, but now clapter is. I was right about that because I wouldn't even let them applaud when I did my monologue. No applause, because if you're doing comedy, applause is for rallies, for agreement, political, or anything. Laughter is the only thing comedy has.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want people to be fooled by applauding instead of laughing. So
Yeah, but I also feel like when I'm at a comedy club, I guess it's always accompanied with laughter. But when someone really nails like a very astute point, like it's funny, but it's also a good reference that I'm like, oh shit, I do that, or that really is on point. I find myself, because it is approval, like you said. Like I'm giving you respect while I'm laughing, but I guess it can't just be the clapping.
Well, like you said, you can't have both. So I decided to become a fascist and stop all applause.
So wait, at that point in your career, I mean, you're pretty political now. I guess, tough crowd, you're always speaking your mind and whatever. Yeah. But now that, everything is so much more politicized, are you still going for laughter? Or are you going for more approval or agreement or whatever?
Always going for laughter. Yeah. Always going for laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like that's the only value comedians have, because it doesn't matter if you have a profound point. If you have a profound point and you're being funny and you're a comedian, if you just have a profound point, that's not a comedian. That's a philosopher. You can call them anything. A comedian is supposed to be getting laughs and eliciting whatever point you make. It's laughter first, like doctor, first do no harm. Comedian, first, I want to make sure you're getting a laugh.
Yeah.
And then if you want to expound, that's fine. But I don't want to. And then the audience gets in that space where they're like, well, we have to applaud this, because it's the right point today, especially today where everything is, so brainwashed and so, people are so, monolithically,
Yeah. Have you like changed your style at all in recent years because of like the way the world is and society and the audience maybe?
I mean, I've probably been more specific and precise because you can't, if you say the wrong buzzword, people will dismiss it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, no, you're not even listening to the book. Like you used to be able to tell people something and they'd see the joke inside of it, because you're being ironic or whatever. Now you have to be very specific about what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm. I think in some ways, does that make you better though?
Yes.
Yeah. Like some people say like the PC culture's ruining comedy, and it's like, I think it's ruining it if you're kind of like a hack, but the really good ones can articulate it the right way where it's still funny.
Well, no, I still say PC culture ruins comedy.
Okay.
I'm not, but yes, you're right. It's both. It does ruin it for hacks, but they also are just so,
yeah, it's just overbearing.
People are literally watching comedy now like, what? Oh, okay. And it's like, you can't have, you can't be being on point is good. You're right. But there's a new hack. Mm-hmm. And it's people that do their joke, but first make a statement that the audience is like, okay, this person just said something that we can't disagree with.
Mm-hmm. Well, right.
Hacks are like, like cockroach. You can't kill them. They just transform into PC hacks.
What made you kind of, because Red State, Blue State was before Trump, right?
No.
Oh, it wasn't?
Unconstitutional before Trump. My first show about the country was called Unconstitutional, and that was 2014. 13 and 14, that was before Trump.
Oh, so what?
Red State, Blue State, yeah.
What made you do Unconstitutional? Like what? Because it is such like a dangerous, weird, like politicized world. Like what made you be like, all right, I'm gonna dive headfirst into it?
Yeah, because I feel like this is real. I mean, I'm not the only one. The whole country everybody in this country feels like something's gonna blow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just crazy right now for everybody. And so, I mean, comedy's the elephant in the room kind of stuff. So it was like one of those things where I was like, let me try to figure this out myself at least, you know. So I said, let me start with the Constitution, because that's where this whole philosophy of this, our personality as a country, like the way people are here, is based on that, you know.
And so now we got the book coming out, Overstated, which is the coast to coast roast. Is that more of the same ideology behind it, or what's different from that? I guess I should say.
And don't feel bad. Already, several Twitter followers have helpfully told me coast to coast roast. Ugh. So they thought my promotion. my clever log line again.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I like it.
I think it's good.
Now I feel like an idiot because I like it.
I thought it was fine. Yeah.
I like it too. But of course, right away, people are like, ugh. You know? Everybody's a critic. And but what the ideology is the same. Yeah. The same thing. Which is like, I'm trying to just analyze all the different states and the mentalities, because the truth is 50 states is big.
It's impossible. It's ridiculous to try to govern all of that at once.
Yeah, it's impossible. So that's basically what the book is, the different personalities of each state.
Do you think as like a New Yorker, I mean, can you even really tackle the mentality of fucking Idaho or something?
Well, I've been to 47 states, so
yeah.
I'm throwing my 2 cents in, but no, you can't. You can't, and that's the whole point. You can't tackle them, and they can't tackle us. But everybody wants to tackle each other and get them into line with their thinking, and that's one of the conflicts we're having, you know.
Did you travel for this book, or was it written just in memories and stuff like that?
No, I mean, I was going to travel for it. It was all based on memories, yeah.
What's the 3 states you haven't gone to yet?
The Dakotas.
Fuck them.
And Wyoming.
Fuck them. Who cares? Nobody needs them. There's no audiences out there. Who cares?
No, but I wrote the way I wrote the book was I wrote all the states that were going to be the hard ones at the beginning, and that was the best thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, all those places early, you know.
And I'm sure every state will have great feedback and not think that you missed something or mischaracterized them, right?
I've already, the little spoke that I've already attacked it, but I did definitely. Everybody, the good thing I did was every state I insulted very brutally. So
that's equal opportunity, man.
I wouldn't say they were taking it easy on, yeah.
We do this thing here every couple months where we'll put up a graphic that we completely make up, where it's like every state's favorite fast food restaurant. And we literally, these guys at our company will make up places that don't exist and put them on the map. And they'll have people being like, we don't even fucking go to that place, man. We like McDonald's. And like, it's not even real. But people get fired up when you try to characterize them as, their state is XYZ.
You're right, especially since I'm not from there, of course. Yeah.
Right.
You got their pride in that. I mean, look at college football. So it's the only thing that people really keeps everybody unified.
Mm-hmm.
It's college football.
That's it. That's all we got.
I think that's so weird. If you're not in football, I just think being proud of where you're from is odd.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Well,
I'm from Massachusetts. It's fine.
Are you like a proud New Yorker?
Let's not act like Massachusetts people aren't just as cocky.
Yeah.
The cockiest, the most obnoxious states, New York City and Long Island, the most obnoxious. Massachusetts, just as obnoxious. Texas. Those are the 3 cockiest places.
Right.
I agree with that, but I don't share that mentality. I'm like, I don't know. You want to go to Boston? Go to Boston. I'm not like, you haven't lived if you haven't been on Newberry Street. It's like, I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. It's the fucking same as everywhere else.
Boston group. You can blame. Before 2000, they weren't really like that.
No.
But they would only push you on Connecticut and New Hampshire. But once Belichick, the Red Sox, Belichick and Brady, they just exploded.
It really is. I mean, like, Texas is kind of, everything's bigger in Texas, sort of cowboy, oil, all that shit. New York is the money and the big city. Boston has that same, but just because of sports.
It's just
they don't have anything else.
I know when it flipped for me. Like I know that there was one year where like I was only going to school and I was like kind of the lovable loser in high school, and like everyone's like, Boston stinks, ha ha ha.
You were like the dude.
And then one day I was just like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck all of you. You guys suck. I fucking hate you, bro.
It was 2004.
Yep.
Yeah. Incredible. Where do you stand on this whole this New York City is dead story, which has kind of infiltrated the comedy world as well? Jerry Seinfeld had his like op-ed response, and
right.
Where are you? I mean, you're still here, so you're living through it. Do you feel like the city? I mean, obviously the city has changed, but would you characterize it as dead or alive or what?
I mean, it's in horrible shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where it goes, I don't know. But it's definitely, I mean, I just can't leave because I don't belong anyplace else.
Right.
But it's definitely in bad shape right now.
When you say that, what do you mean when you say you don't belong anywhere else? That's such a funny statement, but I kind of feel the same way.
Every place else I've been, I'm like, I love it here. I love it here in LA. I loved LA. I love it when I go vacation. I'm like, wow, this is great. And then I come back and I'm just coming back from the airport in the cab, and I'm like, oh, I love you so much. My home.
I've always felt like, I mean, I've been here my whole life, so I have my friends and family here, but I don't, yeah. I don't really feel that like return home and love it, but I also just don't think I could go anywhere else. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's also the personality, like people from the tri-state area have a certain, like everybody has a certain personality that they just, that it's just, I don't know, people from here is just the way everybody's like this. This is how everybody is, I feel like everybody, Massachusetts, the Midwest, everybody's just like comfortable with their people. That's how it is.
We've said it before with, when we have guests on, that there's a different vibe and a different connection we have with someone who's from the East Coast.
Yeah.
And like, we don't even have to know it going in. We could afterwards be like, hey, where's he from, by the way? Like, oh, he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey. Like, no wonder we hit it
There really is a palpable difference in the conversation. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess, you're just more personable or whatever, but there really is a big difference.
But it's also we speak fast. Like this conversation is very fast.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you're talking to, especially if it's like middle America, they like literally can't keep up. Like, what are you saying?
And it's always amazing. Yet when you think about it, some of the greatest comedians, I mean, Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison are both from the same town in Illinois.
Wow, weird.
Isn't that weird? I don't know what it's called, Skokie, one of these towns, not Skokie. But anyway, there's a lot of, it's always funny to me because when I was growing up, all the great comedians came from Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All these Boston guys,
Yeah, what do you think that is too, though? I mean, I feel like Boston does have a pretty long list of guys who either really like cut their teeth there or just happen to be from there. And
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the audiences are so mean in a healthy way for comedy that you just have to be take it to another level. Boston,
guys are assholes.
It's weird because like when I was living in Boston, stand-up comedy like wasn't like a thing really. Like in New York, there'll be plenty of times where we're hanging out having a beer at dinner, and it's like, hey, you want to go to the cellar tonight? And like, I don't think I probably lived in Boston for 5 years, 6 years. I don't think one single time anyone ever suggested let's go to a comedy. I honestly, I don't know if I could tell you where a comedy club is in Boston.
Really? Do you think that's just you though? Like, you weren't doing that?
It died so hard in those years. The 2000s, it died. It used to be in the 80s, it was the best place on the planet because they paid the most money, because this guy, Mike Clark, was the big booker, and he just paid a lot of money. And so you made more money in Boston for one-nighters, and there was shows everywhere. There was 6 clubs in Boston, small city, 6 comedy clubs. And then it did die at the 2000s, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few times where we'd like, we should go to a show at some point in the next week or two, but it was, and we never went. But here, I mean, I go to comedy clubs, obviously when they're open. I go to comedy clubs all the time because it's just like, hey, what do you want to do tonight?
So what the hell was the answer when you and your friends said, what do you want to do tonight in those days?
Blackout.
Yeah, just drank. What do you listen to podcasts, Colin?
No.
Do you like podcasts? Would you consider doing one? Do you not care for them? Do you think they're stupid?
No, I like them. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it amazes me. It's the same thing with what radio used to be. It amazes me, but keeping it going for that many hours is not easy, and it's not. I couldn't do it. I mean,
I think you could do it. You 1,000%. Maybe you wouldn't like it, but could you do it and be good at it? 1,000,000,000%.
But put it this way: does anyone need another comedy podcast talking about comedy with other comedians? That's the problem.
Yeah, but you're probably right. But again, you are one of these, one of like 2 or maybe 3 guys who I think people do want to hear it from. I'm just pitching you to make you do a fucking podcast. You should do it. Leave money on the table.
Yeah. I mean, but the problem is that I feel like comedy in particular, they've got people to do that. So it's like I'm going to jump in now and talk to the same other people, and then every time they say something, I go, yeah, but forget about what you said to that guy. Here's what I want to know.
Yeah. Talk to me instead. Well, Rogan is obviously the king of it. Today, I guess somebody asked Donald Trump, would he do a 4-hour debate with Biden with Rogan as the moderator, which is actually something, I don't know if you've seen it, but over the years on the internet, there's always been a little bit of a grassroots movement from people to be like, Joe Rogan should debate, should moderate these debates. And now, like, it's, I don't know, maybe a step towards actually coming to fruition. Pretty fucking wild.
That would be great. A stand-up comic moderating the debate would be the greatest. But I mean, that would be the greatest thing ever.
I would throw your name in that ring.
I was going to say, would you have any interest in it?
Really good job in it. I don't know if you'd like it, but I think you could do it for sure.
But I don't have a podcast. I mean,
dude, you know that you're Colin Quinn, right? You know who you are. Like if they said tomorrow Colin Quinn was the moderator, people wouldn't be like, who? He doesn't even have a podcast. You could do it, dude. I promise you.
Oh, how about this? I do an episode of Tough Crowd with Trump, Biden, Kamala Harris, and Mike Pence.
Let's go. Now we're cooking with gas. I love it. What an idea. All right, so the other thing we do here, we have a show called Answer the Internet, where we've compiled all of like these crazy hypothetical and kind of mind-bending questions that we've heard over the years on our show and gathered from the internet. Do you mind if we hit you with some of those?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to do, let me pull up the list of questions here. It's on the bottom of the screen. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Answer the Internet with Colin Quinn. Who's the number 1 celebrity, we'll do dead or alive, whose birthday party you would want to attend?
Number 1 celebrity, dead or alive, whose birthday party I would want to attend. Well, I attend. You heard my famous Robert De Niro birthday party story, right? That's the number one.
To remind the audience,
I did Robert De Niro's birthday party, his 60th birthday party, and I bombed so badly, I not only ruined his birthday. 10 years later, him and his wife were outside the cellar. Jim Norton goes, "Hey, remember when Colin did your birthday party?" And both of their faces darkened with hate. 10 years later.
What do you remember? Like, was there like a specific joke or a moment that you were like, "Holy shit"? Yeah.
I remember the entire blow by blow. I remember her calling me and saying, "Hey, I'd like you to do his birthday party. Just do your De Niro impression for 2 minutes." And I remember me, like Ralph Cramby, going, "I'll do better than that." He showed up. I remember the waiters' faces when I got there, like envious, like I tried to be an actor and this guy's making a living in showbiz. I remember the waiters' faces when I left, disgusted and confused.
Was it really that bad? Like, I can understand the impression maybe, but like at this point, you're a professional comedian. Like,
I've told the story, but my suit was drenched. My suit, not my shirt.
Oh. All right, so not Bob De Niro.
I didn't even sweat on stage. My whole suit was drenched. monumental.
I don't think I've ever seen a wet suit.
It's when you get the pit stains in the jacket, it's special, man. That is special.
It was. So that's the birthday party I would not attend.
You know what? I mean, obviously you don't want to ever bomb, but now looking back on it, isn't it almost better to have that story that you bombed so colossally? Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd rather have killed and gotten in forever with Scorsese and De Niro and those guys, but given the choice between mediocre and that, I'll take the bomb.
Every time. Do you get nervous on stage at all anymore?
Do I get nervous?
Yeah.
No, you get a little bit excited before. Yeah, you get a little bit nervous, I guess, but not in a bad way, but you get nervous, yeah.
Crazy.
You need a couple of minutes to get up, like you can't, like some guys, they'll talk to you and go on stage. Most of us, you have to need 2 minutes alone.
Mm-hmm. Focus, get in the zone.
Pace and get in there, Yeah. But,
question number 2.
Oh, yeah.
If you were kidnapped, what TV cast would you want to come save you?
If I was kidnapped, what TV cast? Does that have to be a show now or a show?
No, whatever you want.
I mean, I would say, this is one of those questions today. I mean, obviously, every guy, let's just take this question and say it's 1998.
Okay.
Right? So the answer to the question would be like something sexual with whatever, Baywatch or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you can't say that, even though that's we went to save you, of course.
Yeah.
Now, so what are you going to say? The answer would be like, oh, I'd like it to be, The Sopranos. Well, that sounds sort of like weird. Like, what, you need other guys to save you? I mean, so this is what I'm talking about. There's got to be a place between toxic masculinity and, being a little, a wilting flower waiting for a big pussy to save you from, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let us know when you find that middle ground.
I'd ask for the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. I want those guys to come save me.
A trans-related show, somebody that's sort of compromising between the two.
What would you do if you only had 30 minutes to live?
If I only had 30 minutes to live, that's a short time.
Not a lot can get done.
I couldn't even take a shit in 30 minutes.
Well, all right. What if I gave you 24 hours?
If I had 30 minutes to live, I would buy a pack of cigarettes and smoke like 12 of them.
Just let them rip.
Do you still smoke?
No, I haven't smoked in 20-something years, but I mean, I would
miss it every day. Yeah, just sit there and rip them. Like, Colin, what are you doing? I'm almost about to die, dude. I'm on number fucking 9.
Marlboro Reds.
What? Oh, those just they go down like glass, man. I don't know. Those are fucking tough. I guess keeping with the theme of dying here, what's the most embarrassing way to die within the confines of your average day? So a normal day in Colin Quinn's life, what's the worst way you could die?
I almost died a very embarrassing death. I was driving when I lived in L.A. I was driving in L.A., or maybe I was visiting one time. But anyway, I was driving, and I had a big gulp. One thing I love about living in L.A., I got a big gulp. I used to have a truck, a nice big gulp, and then, pretzels or whatever. So this day...
Wait a minute. You're driving like a pickup truck or whatever with a fucking big gulp?
Yes.
Okay. I did not picture that, but all right.
So I'm driving, but this day I made a fatal error. Nearly fatal. I bought a box of Triscuits. So I finished my big gulp, but I didn't realize I was done with it. So I kept eating Triscuits.
Oh, no.
And I started to choke to death on the Triscuits. And I was like, and I was driving, and I was thinking in my head, oh no, like I'm gonna die of choking a Triscuit. That'd be a pretty dead way to die.
Oh yeah. Out of all the snacks too, like if you told me you died choking on pretzels or potato chips, but if you died choking on a Triscuit, you're a pussy.
They look in, and I've got like a Miley Cyrus tape.
I had a buddy who got in a car accident one morning while he was putting jam on his bagel, and the cops gave him a DUI test, and he didn't tell them. He wanted them to think he was drunk. He's like, it's better. Like, I'd rather have them think I'm drunk than I was
spreading my jelly on a bagel.
Jam on an everything bagel.
Like an old queen.
Yeah.
Here's a question from one of our. This is one of our all-time favorites here. Are you smarter than Christopher Columbus today, with your knowledge in the modern world? Are you smarter than any of the greatest like Renaissance minds from the 1300s?
Absolutely not. No.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you might have more knowledge of things that exist, but nobody's smarter than these people.
Yeah, but you also think about like, there are certain things that they believe to be true, which just were not, that you do. Yeah, you even just knowing certain things would make you technically smarter than them, no?
Well, but what we're going to find out someday. So some idiot 200 years from now will be smarter than us.
Yeah. I think about that. What do you think today is there was a time where the whole world believed that the sun revolved around us.
Right.
What do you think that we're going to learn 200 years from now? That's like, can you believe those idiots in the year 2020 believed?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, like, probably alien life.
Yeah.
I mean,
you believe in it?
Yeah.
You think
I want to.
You think they've been here at all?
What's that?
You think aliens have been here at all?
Well, they keep trying to say they have been now, right?
Yeah, that latest report was pretty fucking crazy.
I know, and it's like, it's just strange. If they haven't been, they went to a lot of trouble to put something like that down. For what reason?
Yeah. It seems like going out of your way for a little bit. Do a couple more here. How famous do you think someone needs to be for their death to be considered an assassination?
Well, I think. I mean, there's not that many assassinations in history. How famous? Like what?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, if you get shot tomorrow, are they going to say Colin Quinn was assassinated? If you get shot on stage, would it be assassinated?
Ooh,
right? Kind of think it would be.
You're right. An assassination has to take it. It has to take place in a. You have to be on a platform, right?
Okay, but then what if, like, I don't know, some Joe Schmoe who's up on stage that night, he gets shot. He's not getting assassinated, is he?
No, that's true. But I mean, that's a good question. Is what's the physical layout? We all know assassination is political people, but it's also a physical layout. So it has to be somebody looking up, like even JFK, the grassy knoll.
Mm-hmm.
If it had just been Lee Harvey Oswald, it wouldn't have been an assassination.
It was down.
Would you, if I gave you $1 billion right now, but you're never allowed to leave the state of Ohio, would you take it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
These guys fight me on it. It actually used to be something like $1 trillion, and we had to scale it down. They all say they wouldn't take it. I would take $1 billion, and you could put me in like a single house for the rest of my life.
Dude, what do I get to with $1 billion in Cleveland?
I don't know. Whatever you want.
Columbus, Cincinnati, some of Cleveland is cool.
I said with that kind of money, you can bring whatever you need to you.
Look at Chappelle. He doesn't have $1 billion. He hasn't left Ohio for, he's got everybody flying in to visit him.
Yeah, right.
You got that money. You can bring it home. It doesn't matter where you are.
So you never go to the beach again?
No.
You don't strike me as a beach guy, Colin.
Those wave things now, those wave machines.
Are you a beach, pool, or lake guy?
Beach.
Yeah. Oh, wait, beach? I thought you said pool. I was so sure you weren't going to say beach there. I can't see you on the beach.
No, everybody said, here's what drives me crazy in life, but it's the way it is. People always say that about me. You don't like the beach. I go, I love the beach.
All right. I mean, you can't judge a book, man. One more here for you. You're familiar with the movie The Purge, where crime is legal for 24 hours. If the purge happened, would you participate, and what crime would you commit first?
I would probably, it used to be a longer list. I've matured, but I'd probably commit murder on several.
I love that's the matured answer. I go fucking kill him.
More people. It used to be a purge within a purge. Now it be a couple of select people. But I'd probably, either kill or badly wound.
Like, all right, who's the number one target?
I really can't.
Give me a hint. What does this name rhyme with? All right, man. Well, listen, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate the interview and playing our game here. You really are a legend, man, and thank you so much for coming on. It's a big moment for us, so appreciate it.
Come on my new podcast.
Yeah. It is out September 22nd, right? Overstated, coast to coast roads to the 50 states.
Thanks, man. You guys are great.
Go get it. Thank you, Colin.
All right, have a go, man. Anytime you want to come back on, open invite.
I appreciate it.
I'm sure Colin can't wait.
See ya.